And now it's time for bedtime stories with Sleepy Lucas.
Tonight's bedtime story is Bus Pillington Bear. It was the summer of 1968. It was one of the hottest ever, and a young boy named Lucas, who lived in the dirty town on the Jersey Shore, hated it. His stupid ball bag hung like Turkish taffy and was constantly sticking to his leg. He had a horrible rash in his ass crack, which was starting to scab up. His poor family didn't have any air conditioning, but he tried his hardest to cool off. He didn't have a kiddie pool, so he did the next best thing and filled up one of the outside garbage cans with water. The kids in town saw him and made fun of him for sitting in the garbage water, and then proceeded to tip his can over and roll it down a hill. The can rolled so far that when it stopped, he didn't know where he was. He was on a street and didn't recognize any of the buildings or people. He ended up finding a bus stop and asked the man where he was. The wet, smelly kid found out he was 4 towns away. His family was so poor and crusty, they didn't even have a phone. So it wouldn't do him any good to use a payphone, but he figured he could buy a bus ticket home. He went to the window and tried to purchase a ticket, but the teller just told him to fuck off because he only had a clump of pubic hair that was covered with fleas that he tried to purchase the ticket with. Lucas didn't know any better. He was a dumb little fuck. He found a man outside who smelled just like him, so he figured maybe he could help him make some money to buy a bus ticket home. The smelly hobo took Lucas behind a liquor store and shoved him into a dirty tent. He then told Lucas he would buy him the bus ticket if he just licked a bunch of Scooby-Doo stamps because he needed to mail a gift. Lucas said sure, but didn't know the stickers were really sheets of acid. He started tripping balls, and the next thing he knew, he was on a bus home and everything smelled like the white gunk at the corner of his grandfather's mouth. The next thing he knew, a talking bear in a trench coat sat next to him. He opened his trench coat and Lucas instantly looked down at the bear's enormous genitals. The bear suavely said, "My face is up here, motherfucker, but you look all sweaty, baby. Here's some pills that will help you cool down, baby." Lucas said thank you and ate 2 fistfuls, but then remembered he didn't have any money and told the bear he couldn't pay him. The bear said, "No problem, baby," and pointed to his hairy bear cock, which was now fully erect. Lucas knew what that meant from all the camping trips his Uncle Winston Gogol took him on. He filleted the bear, but it was totally worth it because he was as cool as a cucumber. The next thing he knew, it was 8 months later. He woke up in a village in South America. Luckily, the house he woke up in had an old white guy in it who spoke English. Lucas asked him what happened. The old man explained that he was drugged by his accomplice, who stuffed 18 balloons full of drugs up his ass, fucked his mouth, and shipped him to South America in a box, and that he picked him up at customs. Then the man forced Lucas to sit out all the drug balloons right in front of him at gunpoint. That way he couldn't steal any. After Lucas passed the last balloon out, the old man instructed him to go upstairs and ask for a gentleman named Julio, who would give him paperwork and money to get back to his family and the States, so he did. Instead of Julio doing that, he stabbed Lucas 83 times in the stomach and fed him to an alligator. Shortly after that, the poor alligator was eaten by a shark. The shark then proceeded to eat 3 surfers at the Jersey Shore a week later and was killed by a Coast Guard. Lucas was finally home. The end.